XTCG Kingdom here, bringing you my new Emerald Steel deck, Pull a Hero Strings, a Hercules and Meg based deck based around getting lots of lore and using a bunch of heroes and cheating out characters with Hades and other cards. We are going to bring you the deck in a moment here. This is our Realm Hoppers sponsor. They do singles for all kinds of games throughout all of Canada and deliver anywhere in Canada. Check them out if you want singles. We are going to now show you the deck. Here is the deck here. We are going to be playing the deck here to try to cheat out Hercules big characters and Simba's the big ones with Hades. You can even use the Hades ability to kill little Megs, and I'm going to call her Meg, even though her name is Megra, to bring out bigger Megs to help the plays go off, because there is a special Meg that actually lets you ready up your Meg every time you play a Hercules. So when you quest with the big 5-cost Meg, and then you bring out some of the smaller Hercules, you can keep questing over and over and over again, or take out targets, which is really neat. We are going to be playing a bunch of songs, some of them that are on theme with the deck, with Long Came Zeus and the other one that lets you just attack into your opponent's ready characters. They're also going to be having to worry about we don't talk about Bruno and the Let the Storm Rage On to help deal with cards on board. Our draw engine here is a small package which includes a couple Diablos and the signed contract, so that when someone plays a song against us, we can draw cards. We are also having a large song package to use for the muses. That's not a big focus of the deck, but you're going to have them in there just in case to bounce more cards back. But the big play in the deck here is using the Hera, Hercules' mom there, to give all Hercules characters evasive, which makes it so that they can't be challenged by other characters. And when you have a bodyguard that can't be challenged but with evasive, it's a very slippery slope on what you can and can't do if there's an evasive bodyguard out. There are going to be some plays where your opponent's going to try killing your Hercules and you don't want them to, so having them be evasive so you can do a shift version of them for later on. If you do not want to use the Hades to bring out and cheat out the shift Hercules on turn 5, you can definitely do that. There's also going to be Phil. I call him Phil, even though he's Philatises in the deck. I'm going to just use his movie-based name, where he gives yourself one lore for every hero you play, and your heroes get Challenger plus 1 there. And then those will help your Hercules take out targets, anything that you need to fight. There's going to be a few Megs for different utilities in here. One will be a strong Meg at 3 cost that will let you earn lots of lore fast and has a big life amount, so that she can't be killed as easily, but she's not widely used because you do have to discard a card to use her. You're going to use the big 5-cost Meg, and that big 5-cost Meg readies up every time you play a Hercules. So you can quest with her and then play a Hercules, quest with her again, play another Hercules, and then attack and do stuff. You can do whatever you want with it. The cool thing about Zeus that's in the deck is that when he attacks into characters, he can choose any character on the field and gain their attack, not just the character he fights, which is pretty neat because you can choose your own character and he becomes a 6/5. That's how it's been showing and how it plays in some of the simulators I've had. It might be different from basic rules, but from what I've seen, I can choose any character I want for my attack, which is really neat. I do play the little Simba because I want to use some of the Hades plays with the little Simba and the big Simba, and I'm not too focused on the big Simba just because I want to be able to play that later on. But he actually does. Little Simba does help you fix your hand if you have any problem cards in your hand, but like unequals and whatnot there. You are trying your best to get a bunch of characters on board and then control the board with the songs and control the board with lore gain as much as you can. Well, people have to worry about the Hades being able to cheat out other characters. We are going to be focusing hard on the Hera and the Hercules plays more so than anything else, because they feel like they're the most devastating plays for this deck when your Hercules goes unchallenged because they are evasive. And then the Zeus does get ward if you ever do play the Zeus with her out. Doesn't come up too often, but it does help when he is a strong character that will take out targets fast too. Now we're going to show you some gameplay, and then we're going to go from there. Our first gameplay up here is going to be showing you that we have a big hand full of uninkables. So we're going to just get rid of them all back to the deck. We don't need that many songs right away. We don't need that many mags. We do set up and get our Simba. Simba is the main play for your turn 1 drops. You don't 100% need it. You also don't 100% need more than one Hercules in hand. As you can see, I did not get any Hades to start making plays go off here. So I'm going to start inking cards and then start playing some Hades. I didn't bring out our Hercules. They didn't bring out any characters, so I'm just going to run away challenging. This looks like it's going to be an item-based Sapphire and Amethyst deck. This is also just against an AI. We are not playing against the real person because there is no Pixelborn anymore, for the people that don't know. We are using a program called Ink Table, and what it can do is it can actually let you test your decks out against an AI that's actually pretty good. Most of the time it's really good, but I wouldn't use this as the best example for how good or bad a deck has gone. I have used this one personally in real life, and out of 5 games I lost twice, which is a cool thing. As you can see, they dropped a Queen's Castle there, and now I have a shift Hercules out, and now I can just take out the Queen's Castle with a couple characters, or even one character, because the Phil's out. The Phil gave me an extra lore when playing this hero, and then I have now total board control, so I don't even have to worry about the scuttle. I can just start questing, even with my Phil, and then go from there. I am going to draw a free card off Diablo. Yeah, it's not the biggest focus in the world because you're not trying to do too much with the Diablo, except for maybe bait your opponent's other characters out. Here comes the Hera, and now my Hercules can't be challenged by anything else, so now he can just take out targets whenever he wants. And then we're just going to keep questing over and over here because that's all we need to do, because they have no way to get rid of our characters. They tried to play the Aerial's Grotto with the 3 lore out, and then we now have an Aerial going down, but it's kind of too late for her to make any use at all. I am going to just ink another card, play the Meg, and then I'm just going to quest with all the characters I have, because there's no point in me trying to stall out the game any longer. The Amethyst and the Sapphire deck was just a little bit too slow, so we're going to move on to our next game here. As you can see, we have a whole bunch of uninkable cards. We only need to get rid of the songs because we didn't really need to worry about them right now. We didn't need the big Hercules. We want to use the Simba to see what else we can draw. We don't need the song right now because we need some of our plays going off, and we're hard focusing on the Hera. So we are going to be playing a bunch of the Hercules down as much as we can, because once the Hercules come down, they can't be challenged, so we are safe from any kind of real challenging. Looks like we're playing against Ruby and Amber, and they drop a Flynn Rider. Seeing that I only have a 2-cost character out, I don't mind, so I'm just going to get rid of their Pluto, so that nuisance becomes off the field. We now have the Hera, so the Hera is now giving our characters evasive. They drop a location, and we are going to bring out our location killer, which is our Shift Hercules. Shift Hercules will just take out the location and then quest, and then I will not quest with the Hera because I don't want her to start taking damage, even though she has ward, which is also really good with her when she gives all our other Hercules the ability to not be challenged by opponent's characters because they have evasive, unless they have evasive. We are going to this quest with our other characters, put our bodyguard down, and I'm going to use all my characters here to actually take out the location. They drop an Aladdin to steal lore. I think that this deck is supposed to be a location-based stealing lore type of deck. So I'm just going to quest with all my characters here, and I do have a Hercules that has bodyguard, so I'm okay with that. I was worried about the Shift Aladdin coming down because they now have enough points or lore to do that. So I dropped my big Hercules. I quest with all my characters because there is now nothing he can do. And the only character he has tapped down is the Aladdin, so I need to take out the Aladdin in case something else gets shifted on him. So I am going to attack that with my Hercules and take no damage because my shift Hercules has -2, or it has +2 resist on it. They drop down a Scar, which I did not think that they had. They used the Scar to get rid of 2 of my characters, both my bodyguards. So that was unfortunate, but they took the see my board here is pretty big. I have full control over what's going on, and I can just now quest without having to worry about any issues that are going on. I check my graveyard to make sure there's anything in there. I draw a card because my opponent drew a card, and now it's my turn. I have played the Muses. I have going to play the Meg down. That gives me a lot of lore. I just got rid of the Hades because I didn't need it, and at this point I am now just going to quest for all I have here and win the game. We're going to move on to our next game. For our next game here, we have a whole bunch of uninkables and high cost cards. We only have a couple of the symbols in the deck, so we want to throw everything back because we're still looking for our turn 1 play. Unfortunately, I didn't get a turn 1 play or a turn 2 play, which is unfortunate for me. And now I see a amber deck, so we're not sure what the other color is quite yet, so we're going to start inking the Muses because we don't need them, and it's going to be a while for us to play those, especially since I only have 1 song in my hand. They are dropping a steel character, so we now know what steel song they're playing. I have to figure out what my turn 3 is going to be. I drop the Zeus because my Zeus can start taking out characters. They are swarming the field with a whole bunch of 1-cost characters, and I am so worried that I'm going to get shifted upon, and then they would be able to sing any 5-cost character that they want. So I'm going to start inking cards, and I'm going to start trying to control the board by trying to think if I wanted to play the song, or so I ended up playing the Hera to give my Zeus ward so that no song's going to be attaching it. I'm going to get rid of the Robin Hood because that's the most devastating one I can think of right now because all my other characters have ward. So even if the Queen comes down, she can't target any of those characters. But they do play the One Last Hope to just attack into my Simba and have resist on the character. I'm going to draw for my turn, and I'm trying to think what I want to do next here. So I am trying to think about getting into Hercules, and then say, nah, it's not worth it. So I start putting down the Diablo to start taking care of targets. So as you can see here, the Zeus can now choose anybody's attack, and then it gains it, and it's attacking into another character. So we're not sure if that's quite how it works 100% yet, but it's pretty cool if that is. They drop a grab your swords, which is unfortunate. I just played my Diablo for no reason and got my Zeus killed. I am now switching gears and going into play the Hercules so I can start taking out targets, and then pass turn. I want to keep my Hercules as evasive as much as possible, and they drop a flute, and hopefully they don't get a song. We are seeing them just quest with their characters. I don't mind that, so I'll drop another Hercules, the bodyguard 1, and I'm going to take out the Cinderella, since that's another issue character I don't want to worry about. And I'm going to start questing with my Hera, so I can start having the Queen go into my Hera. Queen decides to go into my bodyguard Hercules and sacrifice herself to do it, so I don't mind that. I'll bring out another Diablo, and I'll quest with both my characters because there's nothing on board for me to worry about. My opponent is now just going to do another ink and bring out a big aerial. But we have to watch out for songs now, because now she can do some direct damage to some characters. I put the aerial back to the hand and have them discard it. With the, we don't talk about Bruno, put another Hercules down to make use of the Hera ability. So it's, again, their character is evasive. They play a whole new world just so they can gain a lore. I draw 1 card for every card discarded. Drawn, and as you can see, it just gets nuts when I have a Diablo on board. You should never play a whole new world against a Diablo player when they have a Diablo out. Even drawing from the Cinderella actually gives me a free draw from the Diablo. I just don't have to discard my card, unlike the Cinderella. I drop 2 of the signed contracts because I'm playing against a song deck. If they somehow survive, I'm going to have another hero ready. And then I am going to just drop as much characters down as I can, and then going to quest for everything I have here. because they're pretty far behind. They can't do much. I have a pretty big hand, and there's nothing they can do about that. If they play a song, which I know they probably will, they will have to give me another draw, and I'm going to send that card back to their hand, and then they're going to discard a Mulan. A cool way to get free songs out in a song deck if you ever do want to try something different for it. I draw for my Diablo, and then my opponent plays a couple cards. They play a Shift Cinderella, which is something that would freak me out if I didn't have the We Don't Talk About Bruno and send it back to the hand. They actually discarded it, so it was great. And I'm just going to quest with the rest of my characters at this point, because there's no reason for me not to just win the game. And that would be all she wrote for the game here. And I hope that you enjoy the deck, and I hope to bring you more soon. If you do like what you see, please like and subscribe. Thank you.